11. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Good morning, my Bennett sisters. I'll try one more time. Good morning, my Bennett sisters.
Good morning.
That's much better. I'm Zinga Muhammad, if you don't know. I am a senior interdisciplinary studies major from Rochester, New York, and I participated in the UNCF K-12 internship program. And I'll be presiding over the program today. It should be fun. I'll be assisted by Kamisha Blackman here. She's also a senior journalism and media studies major from Greensboro, North Carolina, and she participated in the Disney / ABC internship program, and she will serve as our moderator for questions for our panel. So first, I'd like to welcome you all back to campus for what I believe to be an awesome year. And as a graduating senior, I know this is going to be a great year, full of great things. We've been through a lot, a pandemic, 2 presidents. I'm talking about at Bennett, crazy stuff happening. So we're getting it together. So at Bennett College, we are grateful for not only our internal support teams, but for the community and corporate partners who align their vision of leading partnerships with the student body. At this time, I'd like to recognize our special guests who are present today. Ooh, yeah. It wasn't working before. Okay.
All right. I had to touch it. That's what
You weren't working before. All right. So, sure. I'll let you do this. So, like I was saying, our special guests who are present today, Mr. Kyle Brown, campus recruiter for Red Ventures, Ms. Chantel Thomas, Diversity Inclusion Business Manager, North America for Lenovo, and joining via Zoom, y'all can clap to that. Joining via Zoom are Mr. Jim Board, editor in charge for Reuters. I hope I'm not mispronouncing anything here. Ms. Corinne Perkins, North America editor for Reuters. Caroline Zavatero, product marketing manager for Peloton. Kate Owens, director of product marketing for Peloton. Jordan Metzman, product marketing coordinator for Peloton. Y'all can clap to that. So this group of dynamic young women right here will share their stories, insight, and provide tips for you and for me as we continue on to our journey here at Bennett College for Women. So we're gonna start off with Miracle Clark. She is a senior political science major from Charlotte, North Carolina, who interned with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Gabrielle Crockett, a junior elementary education major, theater minor from Woodbridge, Virginia, who interned with Reuters. Marcia Johnson, a senior political science major from Charlotte, North Carolina, who interned with OZY Genius. We have Yana King, senior business administration major / entrepreneurship minor from Detroit, Michigan, who interned with Amazon. That's fine. Okay, we got Kataya Laster, a senior journalism and media studies major from Charlotte, North Carolina, who interned with Peloton. But definitely not least, Zaria Murphy, a senior business administration major, entrepreneurship minor from Hayward, California, who interned with Lenovo. So let's go over here. So the moderator, Kamisha, will come up here and she will ask a set of questions of each panelist. And we ask that you limit your responses, y'all, no more than 2 minutes on the dot. That's what God, please. So that each person have ample time to speak. And thank you. And if you have Kamisha come up here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Like Zinga said, my name is Kamisha Blackman. I'm short, so I'm gonna just do this. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. I just been on my tippy toes. And I will be your moderator for today. So before we kind of dive into the questions, I kind of want each of you to kind of explain your role at your internship and tell us a little bit more about the culture at your company. And we can start with Miracle Clark and work downward.
Good morning, everyone. So With my internship with the North Carolina Department of Transportation, I was with the Office of Civil Rights, the Utilization and Compliance Unit. And basically, I was able to go out on job site visits to speak with disadvantaged businesses, just to make sure that they were getting the funds and jobs within contracts from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. And that was my main role, but I also did bid review and goal setting, which I will explain later on today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Crockett. And what I did primarily when I was with, it's pronounced Reuters, not Reuters, but when I was with Reuters, that's okay. But when I was with Reuters, I was a photojournalist, and I got to work basically as a part of the staff. So they have, I worked primarily at the DC location. So I was covering things that were happening on Capitol Hill, at the White House, and just kind of the surrounding areas, covering different protests, et cetera. So anything newsworthy that was happening, I was probably going to be somewhere in the area taking pictures. So as I said before, I got to work right alongside all the other staff photographers and get a feel for what it was like to be a staff photojournalist with Reuters Photo DC.
Hello, everyone. I am Marcia Johnson, and for my internship at Aussie Genius, I was a recipient of the Aussie Genius Award. And so I have been my project on anti-gentrification low-income homes for seniors. And Aussie is an international media-based company that was launched in 2013. And the co-founder is Paula Watson. And also that during my time during the summer, I was just working on my project, helping senior citizens and doing a survey that I did for gentrification survey and finding out the needs of the seniors. And the company, the people were really nice. And I got to just work with many different people and just Aussie and the Aussie team.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna King. So this summer I interned at Amazon and I worked on the Alexa data service team. And so primarily my job was to recruit and help hire for data associates or quality service associates. And these associates just made sure that Alexa was running smoothly. So if you asked her, is it raining outside, she could tell you. And also if there was like any bugs or glitches, they report that. The second part of my internship was my final project. Because I was the first intern on the Alexa data service team, it was important for me to create a document that housed all of our sourcing strategies to hire for candidates, as far as the language-specific candidate roles. So I wanted not only to talk about the resources that we already had, but I wanted to create a new pipeline for college students. So when I think about a language-specific candidate, I think about college students who major in languages. So I wanted to make sure that Amazon highlighted those students so that if I wanted to hire for like a Japanese candidate, I could get someone who, you know, is the major in Japanese. So that not only helps college students get a job straight out of college, but it also helps Amazon fill those roles.
Hi, everyone. I was a product marketing intern this summer for Peloton, working specifically on their app team. I helped develop a go-to-market strategy for their new target audience, and I also signed an NDA, so I can't really say too much.
Hi, my name is Zaria Murphy. I work as a diversity and inclusion HR intern for Lenovo, which is a global tech company. With my position, I worked on a multitude of projects surrounding the employees and also reaching out to communities in North Carolina. The location of the company I worked at was in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is near Raleigh. And so they work a lot. I worked a lot on projects with HBCUs and pushing initiatives onto campuses. Also, task force, I worked on task force teams to help implement and make sure that we're driving initiatives and also driving our employees and managers to be doing the right things in the company and to be inclusive, but also improving their statistics over time to help more HBCU students come into the company as well.
So it sounds like you guys had some really top-notch internships. So like, how did you all manage being an intern, your personal life? Like, what was that balance like for you all? And who would like to take that first question?
So in my position, I worked virtually my entire position. So for the 2 months, every single day, me and my manager have a call for 30 minutes in the morning to go over each of my tasks. Also, just kind of have a chit chat to conversate about what I'm going through in the company, what I want to learn, what are my goals, and also things about what I can improve in. We spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I understood what projects were and that I was actually getting the information and learning things from the projects that I can implement either on campus or in other job positions that I'm going to be seeking in the future.
So for me this summer, it's kind of similar to Zaria because me and my manager, we also met, but ours was every Friday. And I had a pretty, jam-packed summer because before that I did the MSU program. So one of the things that I, told myself is that if I could make it out of this will take me to the next level. I'll be able to do things I thought I couldn't do. A lot of people tell you that working in school is hard, and which it is. But I definitely feel like if it's your drive and it's your passion, you'll get through it.
I can speak next. So when it comes to balancing the whole personal life versus working on the internship and everything, I found that weekends were my me time. So I would go and put in like a lot of hours during the week, go hard, and my internship was in person. It's kind of hard to take pictures virtually, so I had to be on site to make sure that everything was covered properly, and working alongside other staff photographers in the midst of that. So that became tiring throughout the week, but the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, that was my me time. That's when I made sure to go to sleep, to reconnect with my friends, my family, and just kind of rejuvenate over the weekend so I could go hard again during the week.
Hello. So for me, I was virtual because IG is based in Mountain View, California. But also since it was part virtual for me when I meet with them, but then when I met with the seniors, I met with them in person in Charlotte, because that's where I was doing my project at. And we had like meetings maybe once or every 2 weeks. So I would meet with my Aussie Genius mentor, and then I'll have my internal mentor that I chose to help me with the project also. And then but like the weekend I was free, and then sometimes we'll have like a week when we don't meet. But during that week I will be doing my work with directing seniors and doing more research in my research and gentrification. And also I had to plan like weekly goals. So we had like a set of goals for the week that we'll try to accomplish, and then we'll meet back with the Aussie Genius mentor. So that's all.
I would say my experience with Peloton, they're a very chill company. So I work remotely, they're based out of New York. And I would get up, I might have a couple meetings that day. If I didn't have meetings, I was doing a project on my own. I work 40 hours a week, so 9 to about 5:30, because I took a 30-minute lunch and it wasn't paid, so I'm getting on my points. And yeah, it was a pretty chill internship. You go to your meetings, you take some notes, go do your project. Nobody was micromanaging me. I was very on my own, and it was really nice.
So with me, I worked from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I traveled up and down the highways. I was in Raleigh, I was in Statesville, Winston, and I was able to see friends and family who lived in different cities. So on the weekdays, I was at work, and on the weekends, I would go see family and friends.
All right, so what are some of the challenges that you guys faced and how did you overcome them? And we can start with you, Gabby.
All right, so when it comes to challenges, I live in Woodbridge, Virginia, which is maybe 30 miles roughly outside of DC. And so you think like, okay, 30 minutes in and back at the most, right? But DC has crazy traffic. So it depends on what time of day you're leaving. That can easily be an hour and a half. So when you're driving in and then having to park a car in DC, that can become time consuming. But I quickly realized, okay, if I'm going into the city, I need to give myself at least an hour and a half, even though the GPS says there's no traffic right now. I'll be there early, or I'll be there right in my time frame for that random accident that pops up on 95. So I would definitely say time management, making sure that I had ample time to get places, to get set up, and then to like, okay, take a deep breath. Now I'm about to go into an event with the Speaker of the House, or now I'm about to go into an event on a certain street, a protest about whatever. So giving myself that space to get into where I need to be prepared, and then execute.
Isha, go ahead, Marcy.
So challenges I faced while doing my project was when I was trying to direct seniors to housing. And I didn't know like the process was actually a runaround, because I voluntarily wanted to help them and see for myself what it was like trying to get housing and go through different services and to trying to get like SNAP benefits for them and other benefits. But like when I was speaking to like certain people asking for what were the requirements for a senior citizen to just live in their community, senior living community, they gave me like a hard way to go. Some of them had attitudes, and some of them thought I was a little girl talking on the phone, because you know how my voice is. So I was like, and it was like, you're not a senior, why are you asking for a senior? But I said I was doing it for my project. And I was just being polite. And then when I went to them in person, they sent me from one place to another place to another place, and then on the phone calls, they sent me back to the organization I already spoke to. And that was just like a headache. And I was just like, wow, just seeing this for myself. And if I was a senior, I would be really angry just going through all that. But that was one challenge, and I'm still facing that challenge like currently to this day, because I'm still helping other seniors at the moment. And also another challenge was like the time consuming, because I had to try to, for my weekly goals, some people time schedule didn't match mine, like with some of the organizations I had partnered with. When I try to meet with them, something else come up in their week, and then it throws me, pushing me back for meeting one of the goals of my project. So I just had to like make a different path to everything and just not give up and just like keep pushing myself. But that's all. Thank you.
I would say in my role, the challenge that I faced was separating being a student from being an employee. I went into it with the mindset of like, oh, I have a project, the same way that I would approach a project for class. And so really trying to differentiate the two, and then also the amount of what felt like free time that I have, which really wasn't because I was working on like a project, but there's no one there to be like, hey, did you get this done? Like you just have a deadline, and if you don't meet it, then that could be your job. So really trying to learn how to manage my time and not be such a student.
One of my challenges when working my internship was actually advocating for myself when I felt uncomfortable or when I felt like I was having too much work on my plate. And so one thing my manager had told me was to let her know, because she wants me to be comfortable. She wants me to actually learn in this position, and she wants me to have a great experience. And so letting her know, and with that challenge, I began letting her know like, oh, I need this for a project. And I became a lot more communicative. I'm not a person that likes to talk a lot, especially in professional settings. It's kind of awkward for me. And so I had to get out of that state. I had to start networking a lot, actually using my LinkedIn. I was not used to that. And so networking, actually communicating, and then also I had to privately chat employees a lot for projects because they don't answer emails sometimes. In school, we don't answer emails. At work, they don't answer emails either, or they don't read them. And so I will have to do a lot more outreach than I'm used to, and so that kind of put me out my comfort zone.
One of the challenges that I faced was finding my voice, and it wasn't necessarily like, knowing that I belong somewhere, but it was just like, kind of like being a new kid on the block, you don't want to speak too much. But one thing that I learned is that I had an experience when I was in a meeting and I said something and everybody was just like, oh, like, okay, that's a good idea. And from that day forward, I kind of learned that when you do speak, people listen, and you should never like dim down your light just because you feel like you're new or you feel like you don't have substance, because you definitely do. And anything that you say is valued by others.
Let's say for me, it was going outside of my comfort zone. The first day, my manager said, we're gonna have to stop and get you some work boots. I said, work boots for what? We were going out on construction sites. And I said, ooh, it's dusty, it's hot. But I got through it. Actually had fun with Miss Val, who she said, you're gonna go out there and may be uncomfortable. They may flirt with you, they may give you an attitude, but just remember, keep it professional and just have fun.
So since we're talking about stepping out of our comfort zone, how did you all manage to like network and connect with these people? Because sometimes that can be kind of awkward.
So at Peloton, they gave me 2 different decks, which are essentially PowerPoints. One outlined my project for the summer and another was information about the company. At the information about the company deck at the end was 2 PowerPoints full of people that I was supposed to reach out to in the company in the first 30 and 60 days. And these people were like the senior vice president of marketing, people who were over graphic design and social media. They were in various roles, but they did this so that I could reach out and talk to them about their roles and see if maybe they were doing something that I was interested in. So they made it really easy to network in the company. So I just put time on these people's calendar, reached out, had like 30-minute one-on-ones with each of them. And they are really, really open to getting to know and talk to students. So that's how I did that.
I'll go at it next. So when it came to networking, the setup that I was in, whenever you are, let's just take the Capitol, for example, you're surrounded by other news agencies, people who work for other news agencies. And so even if you are, let's say in my case, working for Reuters, you'll be in the same room with people from Washington Post, New York Times, et cetera, et cetera. And so because they categorize you by the craft that you're doing, whether it's print, whether it's photo, you can't help but talk to people. You're in the same room and you're doing all kinds of stuff together all the time. You guys are always going to the same events at the Capitol. You guys are always running up and down the halls trying to find different people or whatever. So you start to get to know people because you're around them so much. So my biggest thing was to be open with introducing myself. A lot of people didn't know who I was unless they worked with Reuters, like alongside me or whatever. They didn't know who I was. So I was like, you know what, let me harp on this opportunity to make my presence known in a positive way so that I leave a positive impression. So when I go back and start working again, they'll know exactly who I am. And I've already built that relationship, built that connection. So yeah, going out of your comfort zone and just being bold.
So with me, it was pretty much the same as Kataya. It like within the first 2 weeks, I had to meet with certain people, but it was pretty much just my team. So I get to know who I'm meeting with, or so I get to know my team. And so I feel like what helped me network the best way is to understand that you have to be authentic and genuine. You can't just come asking somebody what can they do for you. It's actually about getting to know that person, not like on a personal level or anything, but someone that can vouch for you and say, oh yeah, she's a good worker. So I think that's what helped me out a lot. And yeah, I made connections that will pretty much last a lifetime, at least for my professional career. So.
Well, my position, we worked with teams, and so a lot of the times we had access to set up meetings with multiple people in the company. And so a lot of the times we would have panelists, or they would have a lot of sessions where interns would come in. And with networking, it's not just networking with employees, it's networking with other college students, other people in the same positions as you. Because in the future, they might be in these positions, and they might be able to vouch for you because they've been working with you, they've seen what you can do. And also, it just builds connections outside of Bennett, especially being an all-women's institution and meeting especially a lot of different diverse and male students and male professionals. It kind of helped me get into that mind space. And then as well, every time I would come into a meeting, I would figure out the person's name, and then I would follow them on LinkedIn, and I would just connect with them, see what they post, see what they like, and I would comment, or I would like the post, or just interact with the post and interact with that person. And as well for my manager, she would ask me questions about things that I want to do. Also, other topics or other departments I would like to go into. And so she would connect me with people. Like recently we worked with somebody in data just to help us with a little project, and we did a little boot camp. I set that up for her because she helped me connect with that person so we could do the project.
So some people, they find it kind of hard to receive these opportunities. So can you guys kind of explain how you received your internship? We can start with you real quick now.
Okay. So actually, Ms. Johnson had sent me an email, I think it was about 3 hours before the application was due, stating that I have already sent your resume, all you have to do is apply. And so I said, okay, I was thinking, can I get it done within a time frame? I was able to get it done. A couple of days later, I received a phone call from my manager, wanted to do an interview. I did the interview. They loved me. And I got it. And I was like, oh, thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Utilize Ms. Johnson, she's a real MVP.
As for me, I got my internship through way of a mentor. So I've had a mentor in photography since I was about 15 years old. Her name is Sharice May. She's also a photojournalist that is DC based. You guys should go follow her on Instagram, but she definitely helped me make a way into get a foot in the door when it comes to the profession of being a photojournalist. She told me about hey, Reuters is looking for somebody, and these are the requirements you need to meet. You meet those requirements, just go for it. So I was very nervous at first. I was like, I don't know about this. I've never gone for something this large or whatever. But she really kept me encouraged, kept me motivated. She's like, okay, you can do this. You know what to do. You've had the experience, just go for it. And so it was through her encouragement and through her connections that I was able to get where I am.
Okay, so I got mine. I was recommended by my study abroad advisor, Dr. Akumi, and she has sent a link, and she always sends me opportunities that be out there, and I just clicked on it, and I was like, okay, I'll apply, and then I was just reading about it, watching the videos, and then I was intimidated by they had all these people across the state applying for ACES Genius, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, but I did it, and I got it thanks to her, and thank God, for the opportunity, because that is a tough competition. But also, I just was happy that I got it. I was able to do my project. So what we had to do was make a project proposal, and I told you mine about anti-gentrification and how it helped the community. And yeah, so if y'all want to apply for it, just let me know and come see me afterwards.
So I utilize LinkedIn Premium, and so with LinkedIn Premium, it gives you analytics based off of your percentage of getting the interview for a job. So if it wasn't for that, I probably would have never applied. I was like in like the top 5%, and that's pretty strong competition. And they compare you against a sufficient amount of people. It isn't like 2 or 3 candidates, like it's a lot of candidates. So I took the opportunity to apply and I got the job. So I was super excited when I got it, kind of in disbelief, but yeah, I do owe it to LinkedIn. So I suggest you all get the subscription. It's worth the money.
So currently, well, I started my internship with Bennett College, and they're working with the communications department, running like all of their social media, and I'm still currently doing it now. But last year we did a partnership, or Beyonce gave us 2-year subscriptions to Peloton's app. And so I was in charge of running all of that social media for the day, the announcement and all of the things. So when the Peloton internship came out, my advisor, Professor Booker, told me that like the internship had opened and that they were looking for students at the HBCUs that was a part of the partnership and that I should apply. And I already had, worked on some Peloton stuff before. And the day that the interview closed, or that the application closed, I was sick and I was in my bed and I was like, I'm not applying to anything today. I just want to lay here and feel bad. And so Professor Booker called me and was like, have you applied? Like I told you about this a week ago. Did you apply? And I was like, no, and I'm sick and I'm not gonna do it. And she was like, no, you're gonna do it. Like get up, get your things together. And I didn't feel like my resume was strong. I didn't feel like I had a lot of experience. And I was like, Professor Booker, this is Peloton. Like, I don't know if you know what this is, but like, I can't have step with trying to apply to this organization. So she was like, well, I'm gonna help you with your resume and you're gonna apply. I literally applied like hours before that application closed. And when I got the intern, when I went to go do my interviews, they were like, we were really impressed that you handled social media for the Beyonce announcement, and that you've been working closely with the health team at Bennett to come up with like some campaigns for health and wellness at your school, and that really aligns with our brand. So it really just all fell into place for me. Shout out to Professor Baker.
With my position, I got it through Ms. Johnson. She contacted me about different positions. They were looking for interns from HBCUs, specifically Bennett as well for Lenovo. And so I actually applied for like 3 or 4 positions before I got my diversity and inclusion position. And I was in contact with a person named Christy Chase. She's in charge of the university recruitment at Lenovo. And she reached out to me almost every week, almost about 3 times a week. If I didn't, I would have an interview, I would fill out an application. She would set me up with an interview. If the interview didn't go good, she would send me way more opportunities. She would email me, she would call me. I remember I probably got like 10 calls from her in a month span of her just contacting me, seeing how I'm doing, seeing if I need help with applying. Do I see any positions that I want to do? And then when she connected me with diversity and inclusion, it kind of aligned with things that I want to do. And so I had my interview, and the person that interviewed me was Chantel. We had a great interview, and through that process, I got my internship, and it was amazing.
You can tell it's very important to take that leap of faith and really take a chance on you. So make sure you're doing that and utilizing your resources. So my next question is, what do you all feel like you professionally and personally gained from this internship? And anybody can jump in and go first.
I'll go first. So I definitely gained more insight into the art of photography itself. So I had a wonderful group of people at Reuters who I was working with, like I said, every day, other staff photographers, and they were super helpful in saying, okay, this would be a stronger photo if you took it from this angle, or if you changed your camera settings to this and that. All those different types of things definitely made me a stronger photographer, because I was getting, I guess, hands-on experience versus somebody just saying like, oh yeah, do that next time. And then, the next time is however much time away. It was like right then and there, okay, do this on the site, getting the adjustments made right away, that really benefited me. That, and then also the relationships that I built while in the internship, they made a way for me to, now I am a freelance photojournalist with Reuters. So it's basically where I'm in a contract position. Thank you, thank you. But basically, if you're not sure what the term freelance photojournalist means, it's basically like a contractor. So they call on me, hey, we need this event covered. Can you cover it? And then I can tell them my availability, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, I covered move-in day, well, one of the move-in days here for Bennett College for Reuters. So just making sure those relationships were really strong, making sure that I definitely took advantage of the place that I had, led on to me now like having a job with Reuters outside of the internship.
I would say I gained a lot of confidence in this internship. Imposter syndrome is real, and I never felt it until this internship, when I was sitting in rooms with people who had graduated from Ivy League schools. For undergrad, like interns were from Ivy League schools and like big name schools. The people that I was working with who were like actual, people that worked there, not just interns, but they had graduated from these big Ivy League schools, had all these different internships and worked at Facebook and Google. And I was sitting there like, why am I here with y'all from little old Bennett? And I've never really, like, my only internship has been at Bennett. So I really learned how to like know that if you're in a room, you're meant to be there. Like, God doesn't place you in any room that you're not meant to be in. So really understanding that, and then taking the confidence to network with people and reach out. Like I had an amazing manager who affirmed me that people want to speak with students. Like, don't be afraid to cold message someone on LinkedIn, to reach out to someone. And I would say that has gotten me really far, like really, really far right now. Just me, after that internship, starting to reach out to people on LinkedIn, like, hey, I'm a senior, I'm graduating soon, and I would love to talk to you about what you're doing at your company, because I could see myself there. And they're responding. Like, I never thought these people were responding to me, but like having the confidence to go for it. So that's what I can say I gained from it.
Take one more response before we move on to the next question.
I will also say the confidence for me too, just throughout my internship, learning Amazon's process of hiring candidates, it kind of like, made me feel a little good about myself, because I'm like, wow, like this is all that it took for me to get here. And, from day one to the last day, my manager even mentioned how she seen me grow as a person. And it's just like, my confidence was just definitely there within the work that I deliver and the conversations that I had with people. And that ultimately, landed me to get my full-time position as well after graduation.
So what advice would you give your Bennett sisters who are trying to seek, these opportunities? We'll start with somebody who didn't answer the last question. So they go first. Miracle, go ahead.
Okay. I will say, make sure that you reach out to Miss Johnson. She will literally put the internship right in your lap. She will send you an email, so stay in touch with her. She is very important. Make sure you use the Office of Career Services.
Definitely.
Well, so you could to receive this opportunity, you could stay after today. And I'll also put direct you to our executive director of Ozzy Genius, and she's also my Ozzy mentor, and she could tell you more about it, and I'll get on the Zoom and to apply. And also, if you want to apply for Ozzy Genius, make sure you have your project set out and your goals and what you want to accomplish with your project, just knowing like ahead of time. So that way you already have everything set forth. And when you do get it, just be like a little bit more easier to like work through that process.
So I would say, be prayerful about what positions you go for. As Carmisha said, don't be afraid to step out on yourself. Just take that step of faith. Take a gamble on yourself. If it's something you're interested in and you know somebody else that may be interested in that field, work together. See if you guys could push each other to be able to reach those goals that you share in common. But yeah, stay prayerful. That is the biggest thing, because even if it's something that you're super passionate about, something that you really want to accomplish, it can get tiring. It can really drain you, but you have to make sure that you're putting yourself first and then stand in line with the path that God has for you.
All right, so we will now open the floor for questions from the audience. Don't be scared. Oh. Come to the mic, Angel.
Hello, ladies. You all look very beautiful. Thank you. I just wanted to ask y'all, what would you say was your favorite part about being able to work at these internships, and what benefit do you think that those experiences gave you in advancing your career?
I would say the traveling. We almost hit a deer, but other than that, to be able to just literally go up and down from Raleigh to Greensboro to Winston. I love driving and seeing literally, this is what NCDOT does on the highways.
I would say my favorite part was the people that I worked with and being able to have such dynamic people a part of my network now. Also, I got to do go to a lot of different events like for TikTok and Snapchat and other organizations where you learn how to use those platforms for business. So I mean, yes, I was there for Peloton, but let's say I wanted to start an entrepreneurship journey. I now know how to utilize those platforms specifically to grow my business. So that was really cool. Unfortunately, I missed the campaign with Michael B. Jordan and Amazon Alexa. So, but I appreciate the fact that I was able to be unapologetically me as a Black African American woman. You know, I'm always trying to make avenues and routes for my sisters, especially getting help. So I definitely appreciated the fact that we actually have a campaign launch right now for African American women who's trying to get into the industry of Amazon. And specifically the Amazon Alexa data service team. So, yeah.
So a little bit similar to what Brianna was saying, being an African American woman, you know, just embracing that and not allowing myself to get caught in the box of, okay, I gotta hold back, I gotta conform to a certain model or whatever to be able to succeed in this profession. But realizing that if God put me here, it must be for me. So I'm coming with me. You know, I'm not going to try to manipulate and try to, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I definitely appreciated the opportunity just to be myself. Reuters is not really a diverse company at all. And especially at the DC location, it just really wasn't diverse, but realizing that that is the opportunity. And so I found it a lot of fun just to be myself. And it's like, hey guys, I'm here taking up space. Yep, that's me.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
The best part about my internship was actually working on a lot of initiatives for HBCUs. One of the initiatives that we did work on was actually raising, but also donating $10,000 to all North Carolina HBCUs, and including Bennett. So now we have $10,000 from the logo. Opening up opportunities to do esports, getting women and getting people into doing a lot more work with gaming and technology. I think that was one of the best things, and just opening up opportunities to put my sisters in places where I can see them in, because not every space is for me. And if it's not for me, why not put somebody else in a position to be in that space to represent?
All right, so this is our last question. If you guys have any more, they'll be available outside so that you can ask them more questions as well. So Vianna wants to know, how did you start looking for internships, and how do you know which one was right for you? We'll take 2 responses for that one.
I knew this internship was for me was when I was in my my interview. In my interview process, it was such an inviting space. I felt so comfortable. I was speaking to somebody that was just like me that went to HBCU. So we have so many connections, so many things that we can connect to with each other. And so, yeah.
Well, I knew this internship was for me when I got chosen out of the last 10 of the candidates. So that went, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And I actually feel confident when I love the internship, and I enjoy connecting with seniors. And I also had the opportunity to be interviewed by the co-founder, Carlos Watson, on his TV show. So when it comes out, send everyone a link if they want to watch.
All right, so we're kind of pushing for time, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. We cannot talk enough about how important it is to secure these internships during your college career. So we would like to announce that Trinity Cromwell and Zaya Walker Jones have been selected as the first Bennett College student to join the fall 2021 cohort of the Red Ventures Rise program. They will attend professional development classes, have summer internships after their sophomore and junior years, and guaranteed employment after graduation. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you to all of our panelists. We will now dismiss so that they will be at the tables to continue to answer your questions. Thank you everyone for attending. I'm gonna do some closing remarks, then we're gonna leave. So it was Oprah Winfrey who said, "You get in life what you have the courage to ask for." So on behalf of the Office of Career Services, we thank you for your attendance and hope that what we shared was beneficial to you. Do not be fearful to have the courage to ask for what you need or ask for what you are interested in, and we're all here to help you in your journey. And like Kamisha said, there'll be a short information fair in the hallway outside. So be sure to stop by the table and don't forget to take your headshots today. All these glamorous people, including myself. Okay, you can get your own headshot. Stop by the table. Headshots today beginning at 12:30 p.m. until 2, and everyone enjoy the remainder of your day. Now in the hands of the marshals.
And ladies, please remain seated. We're going to dismiss from the back. Thank you.